Hi everyone, I'm Coach Greg. In this video, I have prepared for you a collection of statistics that will motivate you not to neglect your sleep and go to bed on time. Enjoy the show. Sleeping less than 7 hours a day increases the risks of developing obesity by 41% according to a large systematic review. This is data that was collected from 150,000 people, which is a huge number of people. And here we can say that sleep does not randomly affect the risks of obesity, but for the reason that when we don't get enough sleep, there is a statistically significant increase in hunger and a decrease in satiety. All of this happens through the regulation of appetite hormones. Ghrelin goes up, leptin goes down. And so people who on a systematic basis don't get enough sleep, they are susceptible to developing obesity to a much greater extent. So if you want to maintain a healthy weight, body mass index, you have to ration your hours, meaning sleep at least 7 hours or more. A meta-analysis from 19 studies showed that sleeping less than 7 hours a day leads to a 13% increased risk of cardiovascular mortality. This suggests, at a minimum, that our chances of getting heart problems increase as we don't get enough sleep. So it's spreading to different internal organs, including there is evidence from an analysis of 36 studies involving over 1 million people that very short sleep of less than 5 hours. And sleeping less than 6 hours a night increases your risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 48% and 18%, respectively. And sleeping more than 9 hours a night increased risks by 36%. This suggests that not only undersleeping, but through moderately long sleep may not be optimal for health either. We can draw conclusions about what range we're better off in. And obviously that's a range of anywhere from 7 to 8 hours. Sleeping less than 6 hours a night is not desirable because it increases the risk of various metabolic diseases. So diabetes, obesity, cardiovascular disease, all of these will affect our life expectancy in one way or another. A 2017 systematic review tells us that with less than 7 hours of sleep per day, each additional hour of sleep deprivation increases the risk of all-cause mortality by 6%. This suggests that if you average 6 hours of sleep, you have a 6% higher risk of all-cause mortality. And if you sleep 5 hours, you have a 12% higher risk of all-cause mortality. It's cumulative. Problems of, shall we say, all the different factors that can be indirectly involved in lack of sleep. So it includes all the diseases that can increase your risk of not living to see another year. Here, so again, we can conclude that this data is basically reliable because it touches on completely different areas of human life. In one study, participants who slept less than 5 hours a night were 4.5 times more likely to get a cold compared to those who slept more than 7 hours a night. Those who slept 6 hours were 4 times more likely to get sick. And this data is also supported by another study in which those who slept less than 7 hours a night were 3 times more likely to get a cold than those who slept more than 8 hours a night. And so I would encourage you to get enough hours of sleep, especially if you get sick a lot. The 2018 investigation showed that people who slept 6, 5, 4, or less than 4 hours a day had a 90, 190, and 1,400% higher risk of getting into a car accident than those who slept enough, that is 7, 8 hours a night. And imagine, if you get less than 4 hours of sleep, your risk of getting into a car accident increases 15 times. If you slept at least 4 hours, this risk increases by only 3 times. This suggests that if you don't get enough sleep, it's best not to drive at all. And it's no coincidence that we have just such data on the dependent effect of sleep on driving performance, because it directly affects concentration and reaction speed. That is, if you sleep little, these indicators are reduced and your chance of crashing on the road increases significantly. Therefore, in no case, it is better not to get behind the wheel when you have not slept absolutely all night. I would like to tell you about the data obtained in a psychiatric study, which was conducted on 1,100,000 people, which involved adults aged 30 to 102 years. The best survival rate was seen in the 7 hours of sleep group. The 8 hours of sleep group had a 12% higher fatality rate. So overall, the risks don't increase much, but the best rates were for people who slept about 7 hours. This points us to what is a safe range of somewhere between 7 and 8 hours for an adult. Again, children were not included in this study. So we can conclude from this that it is better to dial in 7 hours of sleep at least and not go beyond 9 hours of sleep every day. So you reduce the risks of developing a huge number of health problems that you might have in the long run. And so you can live a little bit longer than you can if you don't get enough sleep. That's the kind of interesting data we have. This is where the video ends. To help build a proper workout and nutrition plan, I can help in my online introduction in my Telegram. Link in the description. See you in the next video.